Hey guys, welcome back to Black Desert. I'm Cradness, and this is the Maehwa guide. So today I'm going to just go over quickly right into this guide right away. We're going to go through the skills, then obviously how to perform them, and then armors and stuff that I use, and then obviously just some gameplay. So I hope this helps you out. Make sure that, keep an open mind. This is just a guide and it's never absolute. I always encourage that you discover new techniques that you may or may not find based on mine. I don't know everything about the Maehwa. This is just how mostly I play, and it seems to be very effective. So take what you will from that. There are a few cancels that I don't know about, but for the gist of it, I didn't find it to be very important with certain things. So we're going to go right into the skills right now. Alright, so with the skills here, we're going to go with, I didn't learn Deep Slice because there's an awakening skill that, on one of your attacks that basically gives a way higher bleeding damage debuff, whereas I don't know if this will stack on it or not. Then retaliation isn't really worth leveling. You can manually trigger it. You don't need actually anything to attack you to use it. I'll show that later. Divider, I didn't find it to be worth leveling. It's really slow and it's just not worth having, even for the lifesteal that it gives. It's very little. Blind Thrust, definitely something you want because of the critical rate and the accuracy reduction on your target, which is huge. 30 accuracy reduction for 10 seconds. Backstab, I don't really know what this is. It says faint if a hit succeeds. I have no idea what that means. I've tagged some enemies with it, and it seems to be like an extension of a miniature stun. The miniature stun is stiffness, but stun itself is actually really, really long. But faint seems to be slightly equal or longer to the stun. I couldn't time it. It's just too much work to figure that out. All I know is that it's like an extension past stiffness. So Maehwa's Will, this is very useful. Instant burst of resource energy. It can help you basically run away longer or just travel a lot faster, so then you definitely want this as well. Nemesis Slash, this is your ultimate like healing technique. Currently, the more targets you hit with this, the more HP you get back. So you see how it's like 40 HP on hit? There are certain bosses I just go into with like maybe 30 potions, and then they slap like half my life down, and then I just use this right away. All my HP just comes back. It's wonderful. Also causes a launch. Launch is really good. Or floating. I call floating a launch. So Blind Slash. At first I thought this was useless, but it's actually turned out to be a very, very useful skill. And as well, the awakening on itself can trigger a 59 bleeding damage for 3 seconds for every 3 seconds for 15 seconds. That is much better than Deep Slice. So you'll save yourself a lot of skill points there. I have Chase at 2 for the distance, ultimate just because you can stop and go whenever, and it also causes super armor when you're using it on a spam. But you're invincible on the first use before it hits cooldown. I use this to dodge like killer techniques from bosses or just players trying to knock me down or something. The top thing about the Maehwa and the Blader class is that they can engage and disengage fights however they want because of this skill. So basically you get to choose your fights pretty much, unless you're like stun locked on the floor or whatever. That's when you're probably gonna die. But this lets you run in and out a battle however you wish. There's also a bit of camera movement too if you want to actually go through your targets. The collision check is when you move forward based on where your camera is, but if you actually turn your camera and have your camera with a target behind you, I don't know how to illustrate this with my hands, but basically if you're looking this way and your target's here, and if you look this way with your camera and then you use Chase without a direction, you'll go behind them, right through them, right in there, and then you'll be behind your target. That involves a lot of wrist swivel, so Whirlwind Cut, this is very useful for resource regen. Definitely get the Grinder for the DP reduction for melee power. I didn't find any of these kick skills to be useful. You can test them out yourself if you like prior to 56, because you can freely reset your skills from 1 to 55. I got the Roundhouse Kick just because it causes a knockdown. It's really instantaneous and it's really quick, especially at the second level. I don't know why the second level triggers faster than the first level, so Carver only got it to 3. The Typhoon is really slow. I didn't find it worth leveling when I can actually combo into other things faster. It just keeps the flow of attacks a lot more rapid than trying to finish a full Carver, which takes forever. Decapitation, I use this for a stun because that's all it's good for. I don't really like to use it for the 100% rage consumption. I'd rather use the absorb buff, which gives my insanity speed. Dragon Bite 3, you want this as well. 3 seconds for a stiffness attack. You can only use this on cooldown, and basically every 3 seconds you can cause a stiffness CC effect. So this is good for starting off combos, just charging into dudes. It's also a bit of a lunge forward. Think of a sonic thrust. And then, or gliding fury. And then you've got ultimate dragon claw. This is 100% crit. Definitely take this. No damage reductions in any kind of form. It's full damage on whatever it says there. In Tiger Blade mode, it's a bit odd to trigger it, but it does hit extremely hard in Tiger Blade mode. This is the skill you want to spam when you're in Tiger Blade mode. Lunar Slash, it's 2 attacks. It's a double slash. It's a bit of an uppercut. But the second hit is really slow, but there's a strange cancel you can fit in there into a Chaos Red Moon, which does a huge amount of damage. And if you're fast enough, and you have enough attack speed, you can land a lot of air attacks and utterly destroy people, even if you're really low on AP. Well, maybe not that low, but still, it's like, if you have high AP, you're just absolutely going to wreck your target, assuming you can land your hits too. So, the second hit, you can, before the second hit comes out, if you fit a blind slash in there, it'll cancel right out, and then you won't do that second hit, which is kind of slow. It still hits really hard, but having air attacks is so much better. Chaos Red Moon, this is a skill you want to keep for Awakening as well. Later on there'll be a different guide for Awakening. This is just for the blade and bow. Because when Awakening comes, the whole gameplay changes up, so it's no longer like these current skills. But I'm built in the sense where I'll take most of these skills into Awakening. Blooming, I would like to take Blooming Phantom, but I don't have enough skill points at the moment because of the MP reduction, minus 50 per hit. That is a lot of MP stealing. Cyclone Slash, this is very neat to just fit in somewhere on like side attacks. There's certain attacks where you can just cancel and just toss this out. It's a great blast of damage that's really quick too, so it's just fitting this in somewhere is just sneaky and annoying to certain things. And it also causes a launch as well, or floating. I tried Ascension to Heaven. I don't really know where the damage is or how it's calculated. It might be just the same damage as another Red Moon, all fit into one hit. I'm not exactly sure. It's a huge amount of skill points. I didn't really use it that much because it seemed kind of slow. Ultimate, this is worth using if you are it's just for an extra debuff. Grab this whenever you will or can later on. I didn't have too much experience with the arrow skills. They are more so for like a ranged crowd control effect or distance closing. Precise martial arts, of course, take this as a passive, and it nullifies resistances, which is one of the hardest things to raise in the game. Melee attack power, straightforward. You of course want this. Evasion, I didn't really pick up because evasion isn't as strong as what it used to be, but it's still useful. It's just that it's not a priority right now. And those are the skills, guys. Alright guys, welcome back to the combat side of this guide. So, the Retaliation, this is more of an attack. You can cause knockdown. It's one of the few skills that cause knockdown with the Maehwa class. Most of this class is more focused on stiffness and floating effects, which not a lot of other classes have. But there are certain skills that do cause knockdown, like the roundhouse kick. Just like a shit kick into somebody's chest. Divider, it's not very useful unless you're using it for knockback for basically a crowd control effect. The second hit on this slash will basically cause the knockback. If you need the third hit you have to press left click after pressing E. I don't know why it's E, but whatever. What I like to do though is that if you do get the knockback on whatever target you're hitting, you throw a Cyclone Slash right after that. And I have it on, and you throw it out like that. So it's much better than doing the 3-hit thing, which really does no damage. So, and then one of the bigger combos is using Ultimate Blind Slash properly. This is Blind Slash. You can only use it in the middle of nowhere when it's on cooldown. What you want to do is the Dragon Bite combo. This is the Dragon Bite, and then you do into a spinning blade, and then you'll do 2 slashes. But the second slash, you can cancel it. If you want to go into speed and just keep a flow, then you do the first slash, then you do an ultimate blind slash in case the person didn't fly yet, and then you also do a Chaos Red Moon. So, you might get lazy, so don't get into a bad habit like me. Actually press your inputs, don't just hold them. Holding them is just easy mode if you're lazy like me. How do I do this? I don't know how to do this again. So like that, and then you'll have like 5 skills on cooldown. That was weird. Oh, another way to trigger Chaos Red Moon is down, left click, and right click. Assuming you aren't in the middle of like another attack, such as the Lunar Slash, which is on cooldown. So that's how you do that one. That's a little weird. Here, I'll give it to you in slow motion. How do I remove these soldiers? They're just in the way. Okay. Alright, so that's how you do that combo. There's also the sidestep attack. So there's a skill called Whirlwind Cyclone. This is more of an advanced attack. I have problems performing it, which is why I didn't pick it out, but you can use it. You can split it with a Cyclone Slash at the end of it as well. I just don't have the skill points, so you do 1, 2, 3, and then you throw the Cyclone Slash at the end of it on the 3rd hit. On the 3rd hit is when the grinder effect occurs, which means your target loses 10 DP, so your Cyclone Slash will also hit harder. And if you have Whirlwind Cut, that would be left click, and then on the 3rd hit you have to press left click and right click together on the 3rd hit to get the Whirlwind Cut, which is a lot more difficult. And then you can also fall straight into a decapitation right after the Cyclone Slash too if you want to go nuts. A bit slow, but that's only if you're like trying to heavily CC a target, or trying to figure out if they're susceptible to stun, floating, or whichever. Most of the attacks involve the Red Moon Chaos. Red Moon Chaos also is like a frontal block, so it's like a defense skill while you attack, which is really good. And then finally there's Blind Thrust. This only gives you the crit buff when you land a hit on... oh wait, maybe it doesn't. Oh, maybe they changed it. Okay. So Blind Thrust, you hit something with it, you get your 30% crit buff here. 30%? Oh god. And then when you also if you also have the skills Awaken like I do with Dragon Bite, that's another 20%. And then with the if you have crit rate at level 5, that's another 20%. So what is that? That's 70%. So then when you use Chaos Red Moon, it'll be 100% crit because this thing has 30% chance to crit. I'm pretty sure it's additive, not multiplied. Yeah, it's just like nothing but criticals pop up on words there. So yeah, it's additive. 100% crit chance. My goodness. So if you go into Nemesis Slash and you have Blind Slash on cooldown, you can cancel out of Nemesis Slash straight into a Blind Slash, straight into a Chaos Red Moon. So what the thing that you want to use here with Blind Slash is basically, this is a combo connector, this one attack. I use it to connect a lot of combos. I also have it awakened with 7% attack speed. So then that stays on with Dragon Bite as well. Dragon Bite, I also have it at 7% attack speed awakened, so it doesn't override one another. It'll just refresh. because it's same level buff. Because I tried it with Chaos Red Moon Awakened with 10% attack speed, and that one has to count down to 0 before you can activate the 7% one, so that's not really good. So another combo that's really easy, it's 2 inputs, is Carver and Blooming. This is like the slam dunk technique. I found it to be hilarious. And also, and you can basically try and fit Chaos Red Moon into a lot of things. It's a bit hard to explain considering the class is really fast. So if you're into speed, this is the speed class if you ask me. And then Carver into Blooming. Yeah, so it's like shift forward left click and then shift left click right click when both the skills are on cooldown. My goodness. You just have to see this one strike go up. Otherwise you start going into the combo and then like your target will probably be on the floor by then and you won't get that air strike, which looks like you're juggling a target. So to do the triple thrust, you go blind thrust first, and then you have to press S right after blind thrust to do a backstab, and then afterwards you do the dragon bite, which is S plus L and B. So let's see, that's you can literally start this as a combo right after chase. So charge into your target and start off with a blind thrust, and then that's your full combo there. You go into the dragon bite, then you do the dragon claw, and then afterwards you do the first hit of the lunar slash, cancel into a blind slash, go into Chaos Red Moon, and then that's your full combo. God. Okay. Ugh. So like that. That's a lot of hits. And then you'll probably have about 10 skills on cooldown, and then they cool down pretty quick, so you can go in full rotation and just keep going and going and going and going. And then when you have 100% rage, I suggest you absorb it. So you get the class itself, their rage absorb buff is 25% attack speed or something increase, and that stacks with everything, which is crazy. So, and then if you get a wizard or a witch near you and they use their speed spell, you go another 30% faster. So it's a 55% animation speed up. On top of it, in attack speed 5, it's about 75%, so you almost double your attack speed animation rate. At that point, if you have a high amount of AP, you'll probably just wreck people. And it was a pretty scary class after I theorized it in my head, and then I was like, wow, I'm like, how's this possible? I'm like, this class is kind of broken. And then if you drink like potions like Elixir of Death or Assassination, I'm pretty sure someone's gonna die. so that's the combo, guys. Make sure you keep everything in rotation. It's important when you have things on rotation. Everything does a lot more damage when you use a skill on cooldown, so after a point it just takes practice in terms of just keeping your skills in rotation. So yeah. Tiger Blade mode. This is when you go crazy. Tiger Blade mode, you use this for, you can do, there's 3 different kinds of attacks. There's the one where you just hold left click. When you do this, your stamina will regen. If you use the forward left click, it won't regen. So, but if you do this, then this is like 1,000 needles. And then this is how you use the Dragon Claw. The Dragon Claw in this attack is a lot stronger. You do this spin cut at the end. It's about a 900% multiplier. It's probably the highest multiplier the class has. You can also use Carver, which just shift and left click, which you just slash like no tomorrow. But I'd rather just hold left click. Holding left click, you regen stamina, and if you do sidestep chop, you can literally get around your target really quick in Tiger Blade mode. Unfortunately, it only lasts for 30 seconds. I can't really show that, but in previous videos on like the Black Desert Everything video, there was a lot of footage regarding pretty much gameplay where I'm just purely focused and have to talk or anything and explain stuff. There's a lot of that. You can check that out, or you can also check out the Maehwa First Impressions or whatever. That one showed a lot of gameplay too, but this is where this stuff happens. Oh god. So that's the combos, guys. I hope this helps you out. Okay guys, and for the final part of this video, I just want to go over gear. Obviously you want boss gear and Kazarka and your dandelion whatever for later on, but in terms of usefulness, I have attack speed at 5, movement speed at 5, crit rate at 5, and luck at 5, and I have 0 food buffs on. That is the ideal one for anybody, and surprisingly enough, I'm not using any boss gear. So that's achievable without boss gear, and my stats are okay too. 233 DP, and I only have Pry Armor. And I have a Tri-Rosar Blade, and a 138 AP, and Pry Ultimate Rosar Hornbow. So I'm using a DP Hornbow. If I switch this, I don't even have a necklace on, put that on. Turn this into a weapon core set. Okay, so that's my actual stats now. 145 and 240. It's really not bad considering I don't have anything at duo level for accessories. And my weapon is only Tri. I'm using a DP Hornbow. Or it's more DP focused anyways. If I use the White Warrior Hornbow, that's about an extra 24 AP I could have. So that would place me at about 169 AP. And if I upgraded Blue Coral Rings, for instance, or this to duo, it would be well over 170, getting close to 180 if I had upgraded necklaces as well and belts. 180 is a good area to be at, I feel. DP, this is really high for DP, 240, and I'm only at Pry Armor. If I brought it to Try, I'm pretty sure it'll be over 260 or 270. And I'm using Luck Armor of Fortuna, which most people don't consider. Luck Armor of Fortuna, you won't have very much damage or resource things, but if you don't want to, like, this is an alt, right? It's not my main. My main is using Rokaba and Gruno and whatever. It's really cheap to buy them. It's like 57k, 38k. I use it as a PvE set because it gives 3 movement speed, it gives luck level +2, and when you have enough titles, that's basically a 5 luck level. And if you're cheap and you don't have pearl items, this basically grants you 5 luck permanently when you go fight and kill stuff. It's also a really good amount of defense for some reason, and that's pretty much it. So if I take this off, I'm at about 217 DP, but again, only at Pry level armor. If it was duo, it'd be much higher, and if it was at Try, it'd be certainly a lot higher. That's my gear, and each of them are 2 slots as well. I only have attack speed level +2, critical hit rate +2 in the gloves, and I have movement speed +2 on the shoes, and there's still an open slot for something else I can put down, so probably knockdown resistance or something. Helmet is free of 2 slots. You can put 2 EXP crystals, 2 knockdown resist, something. You have a lot of choice here. Armor, I just put Crystal Abundance Resonance for resource and recovery, because the other sets will grant that, but this is pretty much like a PvE set if you ask me, and it's also pretty decent too and cheap to repair and upgrade until you get boss armor. And then when you get boss armor, you can at least break 1 piece without losing the set bonus, because it's a 3-piece set bonus, so it just works all together. And then you can use this armor as fail stacks for later. So if I want to Tet Bomb this armor, then it'll just get like 6 stacks or whatever later. Very easily usable for stacking or whatever. I went with a Rosar Blade because it's just cheap. And paired with the Rosar Hornbow, the ignore all resistance lets me launch enemies and characters much more often than usual. So that's also really good. And when you have that with the precise martial arts, your stiffness effects will occur like 25% more often if they have resistance. So they would need at least a base resistance of like 25% or something. And if you have a higher stone on destruction, alchemy stone of destruction, that could be further increased even more along with attack speed and accuracy. Obviously the character has a bit of accuracy problems, but if I'm using the core set, you get about 5 on there and maybe 1 red coral ring until you get like a Beg's gloves or something, whichever. And that's my gear. So, and then in terms of food buff, I use King of Jungle Hamburg, Night Combat Rations, Serendia Special. The sword buffs here could be better. If I remove the 2 crystals in there, I lose 2 crit rate and 2 attack speed, but if you use a Medea special, you can get 1 attack speed back up from that and 1 crit rate back up from that. and then you can fill the 5th one with a food buff like Serendia Special in rotation, so you get 5 crit, but you'll be at 4 attack speed. And the trade-off is that you can switch the crystals for like life steal or more AP, also for resource steal, extraction. Offhand, I don't even have 2 crystals in here. I would put like crit damage plus or just the awakened AP crystals for another plus 10 AP. So if you put 2 5 APs into the main hand and 2 5 APs into the offhand, you get 10. No, that's not 10. That's 20 AP bonus. That's hidden, not in the character sheet. But that's my gear, guys. So thanks so much for watching. I hope this helped you out. Leave a like if you made it up to here, and feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any input or corrections that can be made or added to the guide to help other people out. Alright, thanks so much, and bye bye for now.